Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting. What are you laughing at? Welcome, everybody, to a Tuesday edition of HomeFront Sitrep. How is everybody doing? Miss Candace, how are you, dear?
Look, I don't know. I was just trying to hurry up and chug a little bit of coffee and poured it everywhere, and that was the laughing.
You got to Marina down, bro. Marina down.
Look, I'm trying. I have to because it's been. Ooh,
It's been a hell of a week.
Exhausted. You can see it. Look at me. You can see it.
I know. You need to put some cucumbers on your eyes, and you got to get all girlied up.
And then going back into work, like
to a shit show. Yeah. You gotta love that.
Dumpster fire, like overload.
Oh, I bet. No, so this past 5-6 days have been a whirlwind. I know we talked about it a little bit last night when we were on the show last night, and then tonight, it just, with today was the last day. At 9 a.m. this morning, it was packed up, ready to go, and on to its next mission, next location. The Vietnam Traveling Wall was local, just here in Shepherdsville, from the 24th until the 30th at the City Park in Shepherdsville. And I tell you what, over those 6 days, I guarantee there was thousands and thousands of people that came and visited the wall, and to see some of those veterans just break down and bawl their eyes out. So Jonathan Boomhauer says it was heartbreaking breaking it down this morning.
That's the one part that I'm so glad I missed. I am thrilled, actually, that I missed it, as much as I wanted to be there for that. And I had to work today, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't have to go through those emotions.
I think I'm glad I was at work. I wish I could have been there. But then again, I'm like, I don't know if I could have been there for that, because, the emotions that went in to help setting it up, getting it ready that first day, on the 24th.
And throughout the entire week.
And then, and throughout the entire week, the emotions, because there was extreme highs and there was extreme lows.
Yeah. Just for sure.
Yeah. With all the volunteers, that you had the Scouts of America that was there, that were people would come in and say, well, I'd like to find this name. And, they would go through the book and find it and then walk them to that panel where the name. What's up, Mr. Craig Murphy? I got your messages, but we're on the live, so I couldn't respond to you, buddy.
Hi, Craig.
But yeah, it was just amazing to see, the volunteers and the whole community coming together to make an exciting, humbling six days that we had the wall. So,
is it you or is it me?
What's that?
That little robot.
It's got to be you, because it's not me.
Well, you're frozen. Am I frozen?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's just me then.
It must be.
He said you.
Yeah, he says it's my end, but I'm not hearing it.
So we're all hearing it.
Well, I'll be darned. Good old Spectrum.
How about that? It wasn't my fault this time. No, but you're right. While everybody can hear me, it's like it's almost the emotions, like you said, the highs and the lows. So like I know one day I was passed out in a camper off in the side of a field, and another night I passed out in a truck and didn't really even know that I was still in the truck when I woke up the next morning. But it's the exhaustion, but then the highs that came off of that of some of these Vietnam veterans that came to see their fallen brothers was a thing. And I have to say, last night I failed. I did not go live on Taps. And honestly, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I was able to catch something that brought me to tears. And on the shadow on the wall, of course, you see the bugle player.
Yeah.
And then there was another shadow off to the right of it that Michael pointed out to me, and it looked like somebody was kneeling.
Yeah.
And it was wild to just watch it. And so when it was over, we were watching to try to figure out who it was. And it was Stan the Man. And it was so like I got goose pimples thinking about it right now. And it brought me to tears, and I had to get a picture of it, and I had to go share it with him. And he shared it on his Facebook today. And it was something I don't know. That one, it being the last night, and
Yeah.
what that
Somebody else.
meant.
Did you share that on Facebook, that picture?
I did. Stan did. So I sent it to Stan in text message. I ran up to him and I was like, look. And he was like, no way. So he tagged me in it. So you might have saw it on mine.
Yeah, I seen it. Now, let me see if I can find it. I'll pull it up.
Yeah,
Let
because
me
that
see.
was just
Because I seen
the
that
meaning
picture earlier.
behind it, and being that last night. And then before, like when the sun was setting, there was these rays that were coming up. It was like we were grabbing people going, look at the sky. It was just, you could see the sun rays going up into the sky. And it's just, these fallen heroes, they were definitely talking to us last night.
Yeah, for
For
sure. They
sure.
definitely were. For sure. Oh, yeah. So here, let me see if I can share this. No, that's not the right one. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. All right, let's see. Am I still lagging?
You're good.
All right, cool. Uh, yeah, this was no, is it this one? Was it this one? No, because I don't see the bugler in this one.
Yeah, well, he didn't have his bugle up, but yes, that was the one. And you could see where the guy to the right of him looked like he was almost kneeling. And that's not, I'll have to get the other picture because that's the one I shared with him. But there was one I took, and there was a bugle in it. You could see the bugle, and it looked like he was kneeling down. And so I must have just, in the heat of everything, because I probably took like 7 or 8 pictures of it, just gave him the wrong one. But it was really touching. Really, really touching.
That's the
Sorry.
one. No, you're good. I was reading comments. But no, so yeah. Anywho, it was a great week. And then we had podcast last night with Chris Lancia from Tennessee. He works for the veteran there, or he works with the governor of Tennessee for their veterans in the state of Tennessee. Sorry, my brain was going a little crazy with my
It's
text
the
message.
week. I'm telling you. I know my phone's been going crazy today, all day.
But yeah, we had a great guest last night, and then we got a great guest tonight.
We
He's the
do.
founder of Lone Star Heroes Outdoors in Texas. Of course, with a name like that, it's got to be from Texas.
Well,
He
unless
was,
you're me.
what's that?
Unless you're me.
Yeah, unless you're Kansas. Are y'all from
And I'm
Texas?
looking at the sign behind his head during our meet and greet, and I'm like, where are you? You
Yeah.
remember that, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. It was so funny because you were like, "Are y'all in Texas?" No, bro. Lone Star Heroes is not in Texas. They're
Not at
in
all.
California.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes
But no,
perfect sense.
the founder was with another organization, and he decided to branch out on his own and create Lone Star Heroes Outdoors. So we're getting ready to bring Mr. Jamie Hurley up on the stage. and talk about his military career, his chosen path of going and having a servant's heart and helping other veterans, and why he continues his mission that way. So, without further ado, let's bring Mr. Jamie Hurley up to the stage.
What's
Welcome
up?
to the stage, my friend. How are you?
Good. How are y'all doing?
Doing
Which one
wonderful.
I'll pick.
So y'all can hear me clearly now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you clearly now. Are you in
hear
Texas?
you?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Look, read the sign. Read the sign.
Read the sign.
Read it.
And the one in the
So, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you doing today on this glorious day?
It was a hot one in Texas, that's for sure.
It was real hot here in Kentucky, and then all of a sudden, the good Lord said, "Let it rain," and it just, I mean, it poured.
I wouldn't want rain right now because then we'd have 100% humidity.
Mm.
So, no thanks.
Sorry, I love Dan and Kathy. They're wonderful, and you are absolutely more than welcome.
So, Mr. Jamie Hurley, won't you do me a favor and introduce yourself, please?
Well, I'm Jamie Hurley. I'm the founder of Lone Star Heroes Outdoors and now Oklahoma Heroes Outdoors. We branched out to Oklahoma, and we're a registered nonprofit that takes veterans and first responders on free or low cost hunting, fishing, and outdoor trips. The whole goal is to show them a healthy hobby. There's no better therapy than outdoor therapy, in my opinion. And my team takes the skills we have and applies it just to that, and helps get these guys, because you'd be surprised how many guys show up with just a Zepco fishing combo and like, I've never fished. And I'm like, well, let's go, let's do this.
Hell yeah.
We're not going to say no.
Well, do me a favor and let's talk a little bit about your military career. How long you were in the military, what branch, and what you did in the military.
So I left for basic training June 2001. So I was actually in basic AIT for 9/11. I served as a 95 Bravo in the Army, which is military police, which transitioned to 31 Bravo when halfway through my career. I deployed. I was stationed in Europe, stationed at Fort Riley, Kansas. Of course, Leonard Wood, home of the MP Corps. And I got to do a lot of great stuff. And the MP Corps offers a lot of stuff, from DARE, SRO, traffic. There's so much. It's just basically a whole law enforcement community. So the same thing as civilian law enforcement we had on top of deployments and everything else.
Nice. Now, how long were you in the military for?
6 years, and then I broke my neck and my back.
Oof.
Were you bored?
Yeah, oh yeah. Every one of my injuries is because of boredom. So, or DUI training. That was the back was the neck was DUI training, because the Army practice like you fight. They take one of us, get us intoxicated, and then we fight each other. So, and one of my buddies, I was drunk. There was a smaller female MP, so I went to pick her up and throw her, because it happens.
Should you be admitting this right now?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's all good.
We're alive, like everywhere.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
okay.
I went to pick up one of the smaller female MPs, because it does happen. You'd be surprised how many times people they think they're bigger than you, and they just try to pick you up. I'm like, why are you picking up an MP? Stop. And when I went to pick her up, he grabbed me, picked me up, and he was much taller than me, and he slammed me down, which is a move we used, and I landed on my head and broke my neck.
Ouch.
Yeah, I don't. All I remember is hitting the ground. After that, I'm like a blur.
Oof. Sometimes it's better to not remember how you got somewhere.
Yeah, I woke up in the ER, and there's this blonde nurse. I'm like, what the hell happened? But she's like, you broke your neck. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. Yeah, she's like, does it hurt? I'm like, yeah, it hurts. She's like, it's not going to hurt. Click. I'm like, oh, it doesn't hurt.
Oh shit. That's that good old morphine drip.
Oh yeah. That was a good hit.
Oh dang.
So having that happen, obviously that kind of ended your military career.
No, I went on for another 3 years.
Okay, never mind. I tap out.
Yeah, I don't like to lose. So I mean, like there's that was the beginning of the end of the career, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Because I developed sleep apnea after that,
Mm.
which I didn't know for a long time. Yeah, basically they're like, yeah, you're a bigger dude and all that, but you don't necessarily like have sleep apnea in the normal sense. They're like right here, they're like they literally saw it like there's a muscle like right here when you
Oh,
sleep, it's lazy. It's just that, because I'm like, yeah, when I sleep, I snore like crazy and it always hurts like right there. And they're
mm.
like, yeah, that muscle's just not doing anything. You're snoring. It's just all over it. I'm
Oh,
like, oh, so they give me a CPAP. I'm like, damn, this is awesome.
yeah, but that's not service related either.
Yeah, it is.
No, I
Oh,
was making a joke.
oh yeah,
man.
oh yeah, because no one can get it. Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. Well, that's when I found out I had restless leg syndrome too. I'm like,
Oh shit.
oh, that makes sense because my ex was always like, yeah, you kicked the crap out of me at night. I'm like, oh, my bad.
Mm. A lot of times in the military or when you get out of the military, they're like, "Oh, that's not service related. That's not
Oh,
service related."
mhm.
So I was throwing a joke out there because it sometimes it's a pain in the butt to get all your things rated for, while you were in the military. Yes, Candace, you got to marine it down. Definitely.
So
Uh,
I actually cut my thumb off and they didn't believe me. And I had to go find the ER records for it. And they're like, what were you doing? I was like, I was putting together a potbelly stove. I'm like, yeah, it's put together. I'm like, and my thumb just started dangling. I'm like, oh, yeah.
that's not fun. Not fun.
No. But hey, you know
probably not what you meant to do.
Yeah, I got that 10%. I mean, I just can't close my thumb all the way.
Good 10%.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a good 10% to get you up to 100, I guess.
You have a constant ringing in your ear. It will never go away for the rest of your life. Here's 10%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, don't get me started on that.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you dictate what here? You weren't there. And like, well, this machine says that your ears don't do that. And I'm like, well, I'm telling you, my ears don't do that. Okay.
Yeah. So I just now am going through the whole disability process. So I got a call yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. They're trying to schedule my appointment for my hearing loss and my tetanitis. And I work from Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3:30 in the afternoon. That's my normal schedule, unless I work overtime. And they're like, well, we don't have any appointments after 3:30. I'm like, what about weekend appointments? No, we don't have any of those either. And I'm like, all right, so now I got to take a day off of work to go in and do this appointment. So I got to take either a vacation time or time. So I either waste a vacation day or take time, which I don't get paid for. And I'm like, man, why can't y'all? I know not every veteran out there works.
But I thought they were supposed to give you a community provider for that.
It
No,
is
after you get it.
Yeah, it's so that's QTC is who's doing my audiology or what audio, whatever the hell it's called. And I guess it's that's how they do things. So I had to schedule a day and go in there, and then tomorrow I got my ortho appointment for my knees.
That's always fun.
Yeah. So
yes, right, absolutely. For them to tell you nothing's wrong.
Yeah, Brian is
so,
saying.
So what happened after that, Jamie?
The back was the final straw. That happened at Fort Riley. And I guess that's kind of went down. That's what kind of had me down to my path of like, I don't want to say like self-destruction, but I mean, there's a different time. And, that was still fresh after like all the invasions in Iraq and Afghanistan, I don't think the military was fully prepared for like the type of veteran that was getting out at that time and that time in the world. And because like I got hurt, and then there's probably the fastest med board in the world because they were just pumping us out. Yeah, like I went in, like I remember I broke my back. What was I? I forgot. I was on duty. It was at Fort Riley at the main PX. Well, at the time, what they called the main PX on the hill. I was doing something. We were on duty. And then next thing you know, like the AP security guards come out and go, hey, there's an active shoplifting in progress. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm like, go ahead. The other MP I was with, he called. He radioed it in. And I'm like, I'll go grab them because we were literally standing right by their office. I saw they're leaving. I'm like, I'll just go grab them. So I did, and everything was fine and dandy. Went and grabbed them and took them to the security office. And then they decided to run, and the whole fight broke out.
Oh,
yeah, and somehow I had one, and the other one tripped me, and I hit it was like a 1 in a million shot. I wasn't wearing a vest because I wasn't doing anything that dictated having a vest, and I hit my back on those bars to the door at the entrance. I literally, of course, I went full force into it, and it was a direct shot right on my spine. And then, so I saw some reservists because that's when they're pumping the reserves in and getting them trained up for deployments. I like sit on him. If I come back and you're not sitting on him, I will find you and take you to jail. And he plopped on, and I took off at the other guy. And then we actually had a dude that played for the Redskins who was an MP. I was chasing this dude down, slowly catching up to him because it was a teenage kid. And then this dude just comes flying by me, and he literally creates his own shadow anywhere he goes.
Oh, no.
And he turned around. That dude saw him running, and he just hit the ground, and that didn't stop him. He still plastered him across the grass. And so we got him back. So we picked him up, and we're walking him back, and he was complaining because the 300-pound dude just body slammed him. And by the time I got there, patrols were there, and I'm like, man, my legs are feeling funny. And then I just lost the feeling in my legs, period. Oh. And and it I forgot. I think it might have been like MPI, the investigators. 2 of them picked me up, tossed me back to the patrol car, and took me down to the Army hospital.
Oh,
yeah. Then they pulled a needle on my leg, a long needle, and I was like, oh, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even feel that. They're like, yeah,
something's not right.
Something's not right. Yeah. So I went to MRIs. They put an MRI, and I found out I was claustrophobic, which was odd because not too much before that, I was crawling through sewers in the complete dark without a problem. So then they had to send me on the local economy to an open MRI, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you are done." I'm like, "What does that mean?" They're like, "You're done," and I had a fracture, like my C4.
Oh shit!
And, yeah, they're like, "You're done."
So none of this is funny, right? None of this is funny, but the way that you explain it, right? But the way you explain it, I feel like he needs to be on a stand-up stage.
Oh, that's not. I got way more stories there, but they are not appropriate for this podcast.
Hey,
this is a veteran podcast, and it's after 9 o'clock.
You see my shirt, right?
Yeah. I don't know who's watching.
All adults and mostly veterans. We are all good, and they fully know what to expect on here. That anything is possible. You got to at least give us one inappropriate.
This is not a PG show.
No.
Okay, so when the war, it was Iraq kicked off. Was that Iraq? Or Afghan? It was one of the two. I can't remember which one it was. We expected it. There's some people that didn't want to deploy, and we're trying to get out of it. And I was brand new. This is like my first time alone on the road. There was a disturbed individual wearing a dress, and I'm like, okay, that can go either way. And when I got there, it was a dude wearing a dress. And when I went to apprehend him, he pulled out a women's pleasure device that was like that and swung it at me. And I was
where did he pull it
out at? Where you think he had it stored?
Oh, well, you said he had a dress on. They don't all have.
But he had 2 hands, and it wasn't like it was in him.
It was inserted.
He ripped it out and swung it at me. And it was like the Matrix. And I was like, all I remember is I leaned back and I just watched it go across my face. And I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh yeah. And then another patrol just tackled him. And I'm like, whoa.
Most of all the stories to tell us, like, I cannot wait to hear the rest of these somewhere. Like, we are going to have a HomeFront Sitrep After Dark edition
After dark.
Night.
Yeah.
With Jamie Hurley.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Oh yeah. Hey, my ex, I guess my ex is watching, and she texted me. If I remember, sure, you said you're getting lunch at the PX, hence no vest. Boom. That's how it happened at the PX. I was on duty, but I didn't have my vest on. So
thank you, X.
Thanks, X.
Yeah, thank you, X.
So what happened with the pleasure device?
I don't know. I apprehended that individual and took off, so I did not have to touch it. I'm sure someone had to put it into an evidence bag. So,
and hopefully you could have got pink eye from that.
Not my problem.
No, you could have got pink eye.
Oh, yeah. I definitely scrubbed my entire body.
Oh, I guarantee it. I mean, I'd be like rubbing alcohol and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I have everything
yeah.
in the military. I just didn't expect to be like my first assault to be with a dildo. So, and a very
Oh,
large one at that. I was like, because I ended up taking the dude to the ER. I'm like, man, you need to get checked out. And like, when I took the ER, the doctor like, no way. I'm like, I am not even joking. I'm like, how would I even like? I couldn't even come up with that.
Wait, hold on. What color was it?
Green, neon green, scarred for
neon
life.
green.
I am scarred for life.
Oh yeah, I bet you.
Well,
I
let's
bet
just
you.
say, like any intimate times with the wife,
Yeah.
we don't ever involve anything green.
I'll start crying.
Oh, it was OD green. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, but yeah.
Oh, shit.
Anyways, yeah. So, I mean, back to Riley. Yeah. I mean, at that time, they're just pumping us out. And so I went to the med board, did everything. And then, like, I got out. And I remember when I got out, I'm like, what do I do now? And they're like, that's like the one thing I remember clear as day from Fort Riley is that lady's like, it's not my problem. You're not in the Army now. Here's your pin.
Wow.
And you know where the gate's at. I'm
what?
like,
Well, that was sweet.
I'm like, oh, yeah. So like, not too long before I was running and gunning and doing MP things, and then now I'm nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then like before I left, like in that process, I met somebody there, and we're dating, and it got serious and all that. And so it's like, because I stayed there for a little bit, and then I'm like, all right, it's time for me to go home because I need to do something with my life, And I didn't plan on doing anything because I was going to do the military for 20 years because outside of, doing what the military really does, it wasn't that bad of a job. It was a good career. Actually, before all that went down, I re-enlisted for indefinite. Yeah, they got me with a good re-enlistment bonus. I'm like, yep, I can do that.
Oh heck yeah.
Sure, why not?
He just kept meeting people taller than him.
Yeah. And so I was like, I was just gonna make a career out of it. I enjoyed it. It was my thing. And so I had no future plans for anything. And and back then, so it's like I remember like the day before I got out, they're like, I'll go to the career counseling office, whatever they had it for. And they're like, yeah, we got nothing for Dallas. I'm like, you're kidding, right? Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, one of the most populated areas in the country, and you don't have any job openings.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, and then, so, I eventually came home and just trying to find something, and it's crazy because, they're haste to get me to, to boot me out. And then I still had to deal with all this bull crap when I got home, like finalizing paperwork. So I'm like, why did I do all this? I was in getting a paycheck. So it's just, at that time, people weren't like really open to hiring veterans per se as much as they are now, because that's when veterans were coming home and killing their families and stuff like that. So flat out, like it's like I want to go into law enforcement and all that, and a lot of them were like, oh no, we're not, like, you are an unacceptable risk right now. And I'm like, what does that mean? They're like, do you not watch the news? And I'm like, yeah. That ain't me. And they're like, well, how do we know? They're like, and you're military police, so you know what we want to hear, so you're gonna be able to tell us what you want to hear or what we want to hear. I'm like, dude, I just want a job. So I did jobs. I'm a grinder. I'll side hustle all day long. So I had my little side hustles going. I still have my side hustles now. It just so happens to be Lone Star Heroes, and I don't make any money, but I love the grind. And I got a good job here and there, and my ex actually eventually moved down here with me, and that's when I started really showing signs of PTSD. And at that point, Dallas was a good area to get treatment, but I wasn't open and willing to accept it. I don't know if I wasn't open and willing. I didn't know how to process that I had PTSD
Right.
at the time. So I mean, job after job, I ended up with contracting for postal police, which was amazing. I should have stuck with it, but I didn't. I decided I wanted to go to college, and I applied for. I want to be a game warden because I love the outdoors, and I applied for a bunch of different colleges. And Kansas State was literally accepting me with like 2 weeks. So back up to Manhattan, Kansas, right out, because Fort Riley or Manhattan sits right outside of Fort Riley. So I was right back to where I left because she and my ex was from there, and then going to college. That's you get stress of school, and then she ended up pregnant as well, so that's also what motivated me to go to college and do something. And it's just the stress of up to that point I was definitely struggling, and Kansas was at the time, I don't know how it is now, I can't speak for it now, but at the time Kansas was not a good place to get mental health as a veteran, at all. There was nothing. I was trying. Like I had one counselor, but he was sitting there thinking that I had childhood trauma, and I'm like, no, I didn't have childhood trauma. If I did, my uncles would have killed it. So that's just the way it goes. I grew up with a very tight family. They made assumptions and mistreating me and misdiagnosing me. And then all that just sat there and compiled, and where it ended up destroying the relationship and my relationship with my daughter. And at that point, it was like I was drowning. I needed help bad. And I made a very, very, very tough decision to come back to DFW and get treatment. But even when I came back here, I fought it for a little bit. And then one day, I was fishing with a buddy, and I was like, "Man, I can't do this no more." And he thought I was like just going to end it or something. And I'm like, "No." And he was like, "I'm like, yeah, I just can't." I woke up, I'm like, "Man, I can't fight like this anymore. I need real help." And that's like when I guess my journey to healing started. But at the time, like if an organization like Lone Star Heroes existed when I was going through that transition, probably could have been a lot easier and a lot earlier. And because because now I'm with individuals that are like me, that have the same hobbies. We live, eat, breathe, sleep the outdoors. And and when you get that tight bond, it really does make a huge impact on you progressing further with getting treatment or getting that help. Because I never push it. All these groups like mine, we do it for PTSD awareness, but I'm not going to sit there and shove it down your throat. Because you do it to me, you shove it down, I'm like, no, go away, bro.
Yeah,
I'm good.
You shut down. Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, and if I'll shut down. If you won't stop, I will shut you down. That's just that's how I am. Like, no, dude, I don't need you preaching. I hear it all the time. I'm good. But my formula on how I go about it is you get the right trip, and then you get the right people, and then a little razzle dazzle of my amazing staff of them do what they do, what they're good at. I mean, these guys are crazy good at it. You add it all together, and it just happens because those guys because you'll sit there and watch, go, yeah, man, like I still get treatment to this day. And some guys are like, man, I thought about it, and they're like, dude, do it. It changes your life completely. And I had to go that whole journey a lot, but like most of my treatment was by myself out there having to find it. I was at the VA. I was in the mental health clinic at the Dallas VA, and I went to 3 doctors. I'm like, nope. And they're like, well, you just can't do it. I'm like, it's my treatment. I'm going to do what I want. I'm like, no. I'm like, they're all idiots. Yeah. Like, they're not for me. I mean, they may be great for others, but they're not great for me. And then I ended up meeting one, and she clicked. I clicked with her. She clicked with me, and that was all she wrote. That was it. I mean, she completely changed my life. And it didn't help. It helped that she was a little mean too. So because everyone's wanting you kicking the ass.
Yeah. So I'm just now doing my mental health journey as well, and when I've first set up with, to get somebody, I asked them, I was like, hey, my day job, I need something that, is going to be conducive to when I get off work so I can go after work. And they're like, oh, well, all of our appointments within the VA are from this time to this time. I'm like, well, that doesn't work for me. I was like, I need something outside of the VA community consult so I could go after work. And luckily they at first it was a little bit of a headache trying to find an office that was relatively close to where I lived that had appointments at the end of the day that I could join. So we found one, and they're like, all right, you need to call these people, get everything set up. So I did. I called, try to get everything set up, and they're like, well, we close at 4 o'clock. I'm like, okay, well, that you're 30 minutes from my office, so there's no way I can make it from my office to your before you close. So I had to call back in the community consult, and they had to find somebody else. And luckily, we found one. And so far, the doctor. So I had my initial doctor. He was an older gentleman, but he just was not very good. So I was like, all right, I need somebody else that is familiar with kind of what I'm going through or what I've been through. And they're like, well, we have this one other doctor that's familiar with PTS cases and stuff like that. And so they put me with him, and he's been pretty good so far. I mean, he understands. He's not a veteran. His dad was military, so his dad was a Marine too. So he kind of understands some of the stuff that I went through just because of his dad. His dad was serving when he was young, and he saw his dad go through his PTS phase and stuff like that. So he gets me to a certain extent. Being a civilian, it's hard to sometimes understand the PTS that we go through as veterans, and but for the most part, he does really well.
Does he have a bowl of crayons in there for you?
No.
Yeah. I don't see with me, like I just went through so many doctors and went through so much that I don't I never felt like having a doctor that was prior service was crucial. Because at first I was very adamant. I'm like, no, I want someone, that's been exactly what I went through. Well, first off, that really narrows down your choice of doctors. And
Right.
when I did find one, we didn't connect, and it was actually at the Denton VA clinic when they had their little mental health unit there. They're like, hey, there's this outside organization that's actually funded by the county, and there's a lot of good doctors there. So I went through there, and I'm like, ugh, I don't know about this place. And I met with, and they're like, what we're going to do is you're going to go through all these doctors, and we're going to find which doctor you think you're best with and what they think. And then that's how I met mine. And it was game. She never served, but she knew how to connect with me on the level to get me to open up.
Yeah.
And that's what mattered. And plus, I'm a nerd. I love tech. And, and she was all about all this technology. And she's like, she's like, oh, get my little test dummy. Let's hook this up to your eyes and see what happens. I'm like, I'm down. So,
nice.
So I was like, yeah. She's like, she put something on my head, and the next day I'm like, I'm never doing that again. She's like, I'm like, I had the worst nightmare. She's like, oh, you're doing it again. She's like, that means it's working. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know how I feel about that. She's like, you'll get over it. I'm like, okay.
So tell me a little bit about your veteran service organization journey, without giving names of organizations that you've been involved with, but give us a little bit about your journey, because that ultimately leads to you starting Lone Star Hero. So tell us a little bit about your journey in there.
So it was years ago. Actually, I was still actively receiving treatment, and she told me, say, hey, look on Facebook. There's a lot of groups coming up now that do stuff from video games to hunting and fishing. Thank you, Amy. Love you. That's one of our members, actually, Amy Johnson.
Nice.
Veteran, one of the sweetest ladies I've ever met in my life. And her wife. They're just amazing people.
Yeah.
But so I went on. I'm like, I like hunting and fishing, so I went on there. Yeah, funny, Amy. So I went. I found this organization, and like, oh, it's like a crappie fishing trip. So I put my name in, got picked, and went. And I'm like, oh man, this is really awesome. I really like this because before that, um, I mean, it was like anything I could do. I was always helping my buddies, always helping everybody. I just like to help, and so I did this, and then I ended up getting like 2 weeks later, I got selected with another organization to go on another trip for a duck hunt. And so I went, and I'm like, man, yeah, I really enjoy this. Because like, we're sitting there, it's like I have my childhood friends, and like I have all my childhood friends. I have like one that I'm really like bonded with and still talk to, and like but it's like with my military friends, that's just different. And actually, he came when I was stationed in Germany. He came over, and they all know him as well. So it's even, I think that's what helps out a lot too, because he hung out with all my Army brothers. And but when you're with other veterans, it's just different because you can let the walls down.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how weird you are. We're all used to the weird. It's just because we're exposed to countless cultures and beliefs and ideologies. But at the end of the day, we all had one mission, and that was serving our country. And there's that bond, that lifetime bond.
Yeah.
So it's like I remember I was on that duck hunt. I'm like, man, I could really, really get into this. And that the person that was running that organization for the state at that time is like, hey, we're looking for staffers. I'm like, shit, sign me up. What do I do? And we went down. And at the time, that organization was really, really, really tiny. And so I just being me, and I just worked my way up. And then before I knew it, I was the state lead for that team. And I remember when I took over, it had like 400 members, maybe. And over the course of 2 years, we built it up to almost 4,000.
Wow.
And like when I do something, I'm all in. I don't half-ass anything unless I want to, or I'm just doing it to piss you off. I mean, I do that sometimes. That's how I get back at people. I'll half-ass something, and then like they get pissed. I'm like, shouldn't have fucked with me. Yeah, because you don't see that coming, and then you gotta do it. I'm like, sorry, bro. It is what it is.
I mean, he goes big. He is in Texas, so
yeah. It's like, yeah. I mean, the only person I do it to is my daughter, because she sits there and judges me. I guess, like I say, my wife too, but I like pissing her off on purpose. So because it's entertainment now. After you have so many kids together, you're like, you ain't going nowhere. Yeah. And then I just worked my way up through it, and eventually became like the national lead. And I'm like, there's just a lot of things I just wasn't feeling it. And,
it gets bureaucratic at the national level.
Well, it gets bureaucratic, but you let it get bureaucratic.
Yeah.
And what it is you have people in there that think they know what they're doing. They don't have a clue what they're doing. Like they really don't have a clue of what they're doing, and that just kind of, and then they make it political. I had a bunch of people that wanted to be somebody, but didn't want to do anything, and I'm like,
right.
And I thought, because it was literally like pulling teeth to get people to show up to work events, and I'm like, and at that point, I'm like, I shouldn't be doing all this work, because I mean, I would lead from the front. You can ask my staff. I will get out there, take the trash. I set up. I do everything. And I'm the founder of the organization. I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do ever.
There you go.
Right.
But my staff is just absolutely insane. These guys, before I had my hands in, everybody's like, oh, you got your hands in everything. Like, because if I don't have my hands in everything, it's not going to get done. So here I have a very much hands-off approach. And these guys, my staff say, hey, this is already done. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. So it's like, it's just night and day different. These guys, I mean, they argue about who's going to run trips, and I mean, it's like I tell them, I'm like, this is a family you never knew you needed, and we're very, very picky about who we let into this family. And these guys, they just get it done. Oh,
That's
yeah, and
awesome.
there's one of my staffers, Josh. Yeah, thanks, Dad. I hate when he does that. God, I hate when he does that. He always like, thanks, Dad. It's like, dude, I will
So
punch you
I'm
next
gonna
time I see you.
I'm gonna give a shout out here to Mr. Rich Sagara with Operation Vets with Nets. Uh, Great organization out of Virginia, if I remember correctly. So if you don't know who they are, you probably need to look into them. Great organization taking veterans out fishing and stuff like that. They do events. He's got right now he's got one ADA boat. So he can
Okay.
take veterans out that are in wheelchair that uses wheelchairs and stuff like that. So he's working on a second boat as of right now. So definitely check them out because it might be somebody you can partner with maybe and send some of your vets
Yeah.
send some of your vets out to them so they can go fishing in Virginia, and they could send some vets out your way to some of your events because I know you got an event coming up. Looks like in November, if I remember correctly. Yeah, no, yeah,
Oh,
Veterans Day, the duck hunt.
we got way more events than that. We just haven't posted them yet.
Well, you
So
need to
that's our big duck hunt with Sotex Outdoors. Pat West Jr. He's the owner of Sotex Farms and Sotex Outdoors, and he's an Air Force veteran. He was a C-130 pilot, and when you meet him, you would never ever in a million years guess that because he literally looks like he's from the set of Duck Dynasty. So
Oh,
and acts like him. And so every year we don't deserve him. He is an amazing human being. But I mean, he's always helping us out with fundraising and trips. But his thing every year is a giant duck hunt on veterans. Because in Texas, we got a veterans open weekend for duck hunting, and so that's when we go because you don't have to worry about 9,000 people sky blasting and all that.
nice.
So, but yeah, we got a family fishing day coming up in September. And then it's dove season, and we haven't posted the dove hunts yet, but the dove hunts are coming. So
Yeah,
like we don't always do free trips. We do low cost trips as well. So and actually, so it was Sotex again. Sotex, we have a all day dove hunt with a barbecue lunch for $90, and that's a heck of a deal for a dove hunt and a barbecue. And barbecue lunch, sign me up, son. I'm
yeah,
there. I'll be there.
so that was another question. Like, when you bring vets from out of state to your events?
Mm-hmm.
How much cost does the vet have to incur? I know you do some free events and stuff like that, but like, if you got a guy coming from Maine, and he's coming to Texas for one of your duck hunts, what would it cost him there?
So how we do it, I mean, I like to do the simplest way possible. I mean, so all they have to pay for is getting there. Once they get there, it's all on me.
Nice.
So because I like to be able to simplify things as much as possible because I want to take all the hard work out of this trip for you because I want you to enjoy it. The hard work's my job.
There you go.
And my staff's job. So you figure out how to get here. Once you get here, you got nothing to worry about. I mean, sometimes, yeah, I might have to put you in a cheap hotel because some of these areas, a cheap hotel is all there is. So I've stayed at plenty of hooker hotels across the state of Texas. It just is what it is. Sometimes, I'm like, I don't want to sleep in the back of my truck. And I look at the hotel. I'm like, you know what? It's better than the back of my truck. So you just hop in and do it. But it's like we try to. Well, you get cold.
Oh, it will. Yeah.
But
he just stopped mid sentence.
I know. Mind your business, Jamie. I'm surprised you didn't see the lightning. Like, it just started storming really, really bad here.
Lucky.
Well,
or hear it.
I took you off the screen, so while you were gone.
No, I was talking about before that, like the booms. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, we can't hear it.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just like, so I like, I'm like, you figure out how to get here, I got the rest. And then when you do that, and it works really, really well.
There you go.
So I just keep doing it. I'm like, so if like I'm a veteran, it's like, hey, I got drawn off the strip, but I can't afford it. We figure it out from there. And in this economy, funds are tight.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter who you are. You're not getting the donations you were.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we just, if we can help, we will. I mean, sent veterans money on my own bank account because we know you're going to do this. And then every once in a while, we get the dude that pops up and goes, "Hey, I got this $3,000 deer, $400, and the veteran can shoot it." And we're like, "Okay," that's a once in a lifetime shot right there.
Hell
But it's all, majority of our stuff is, hey, this is what it is. We post it. If you get drawn, be here at this time. They show up, and they don't have nothing to worry about. And if it's not, it's just like I figure out the system that works with the style of how my organization runs, and we just whoops, I hit my desk. We just roll with it, and if it ain't broke, there ain't no point in fix. There's nothing to fix. It works for us.
Yeah, if it works for you, don't change a thing, because if it's working for you, then it means it's working for the veterans. So yeah, don't change anything. So Rich says we have a large chapter in Texas. Maybe we can do something together. So what we like to do at HomeFront Sitrep is make that connection. So I have his email, I got your email. So what I'll do when we get off of here, I will put an email together for you two. That way you guys can work out some details on maybe doing a joint event in Texas. So that's what we do. We make those connections because, like, you probably never heard of Operation Vets with Net, and they got a pretty big footprint. They're in 21 states, so they do have a pretty big footprint. But that's why we do the podcast, and we look for these mom and pops, the grassroots veteran service organizations across the country that people might not have hear of, like Operations Vets with Nets. When I found them, I didn't even know they were in my state of Kentucky.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got a chapter in Kentucky, Tennessee. Like I said, they're in 21 different states. They got Texas too. So bless you, Candace.
Thank you. I was trying to mute it. I mean, it's getting rough over here.
Yeah, and I mean, I get the question a lot because the last organization was at the time was a growing national organization. And I've had a lot of people ask me if I'm going to take this national, and I just don't know if I am. It's just I'd rather focus on like if I go any further, I might go Kansas, Arkansas, Louisiana, maybe New Mexico, but I don't think I'm gonna go outside of that.
But here's the thing, though. There's so many other organizations out there that are doing something very similar to what you're doing already. Yeah. Like we had the Fallen Outdoors on not too long ago. Montana Warriors on the Water. They Kentucky Wounded Heroes. I mean, there's organizations that take veterans to outdoor therapy, and now outdoor therapy is just not hunting. I mean, you got Warriors of Racing, which is American endurance racing with race cars. You got the Skydive, Blue Skies Foundation. They take veterans up and they go parachuting. I mean, so there's so many different organizations out there that have outdoor therapy. There's no sense in taking it national when you can keep it regional to your area, and then stay focused, because that's because if you grow too big,
you lose the essence of what it is.
Right, there you go.
I mean,
not to negate like something like what Operation Vets with Nets is doing, and where they do have chapters in different states, but they've had the ability to build those teams, and it's been a great outcome for them. So it's, as long as you're able to keep that formation and what you're doing with it, like it can be a great thing, because you have somebody that comes and experiences it, and then they're like, wait, can I help you spread it? Let me help more people where I am. And that's going to be a neat thing.
What we're seeing in this field right now, though, is we're seeing I don't want to say mass exodus, but you're definitely seeing a lot of organizations shut down. So, because some people get into it thinking that it'd be easy. It's easy to raise funds, and it's not at all. That is the hardest part. Some people just get in and then they find out how much work it is, and they're like, ugh. Some people, owning a nonprofit, you can take yourself you can pay yourself. So some people use it for as a livelihood, which is fine and dandy as long as you keeping true to the mission. But I like to tell our guys, there's many like us, but no one does it like us. And because some people are like, hey, I want to, I'd like to start a chapter of you and this state. I'm like, I don't know. I feel we'll lose the essence of how I built the organization. So,
yeah, and that's something that you always have to worry about as being the founder of an organization is if you start in Texas and then let's say I here in Kentucky decide I want to do a Lone Star Heroes outdoor in Kentucky, but if my way of running things are not the way that you like to run things,
yeah.
It's not going to be the same feel.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's where like say if you got somebody in Texas that's underneath of you right now, and all of a sudden he decides him and his family or she and her family decide to uproot and move to Kentucky and say, hey, we want to bring Lone Star Heroes Outdoors to Kentucky since we're moving there. They've already been underneath of your tutelage.
Yeah.
Big word for a Marine. You're underneath your tutelage. And then you would feel comfortable about them starting a chapter. So,
yeah. Also, I'd be impressed.
He used a big word for a Marine. What does it mean, mister?
No, actually, I'd be more impressed if he could spell it.
Oh, I can't spell it.
Let's go. That was a good call, Jamie. You know so well. Try.
I heard it on the radio this morning, and
yeah, and tutelage. Candace is like an understudy, so they learn from the Yoda, the Padawan to the sensei.
Spell it.
No,
grab your crayons.
Yeah, here, let me go. No, I'm good. But no, yeah. So no, keep it. And a lot of organizations, what happens and why there's a downfall and people start taking money from organizations and stuff like that is because they grow too big too fast.
Oh yeah, I fixed the money problem from the very beginning, and the easiest way to fix the money problem is nobody gets paid at all ever.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I've been talking to grant writers, and of course, they get paid, but they write their fee into the grant.
Yeah.
So that's fine and dandy. If you're going to help us raise funds, by all means, take money.
Yeah.
But it's just, and all my guys just do it. And a lot of them want that, because we can get a tax write off for fuel and all that. That's all they really care about. But the biggest drama is always money. I'm like, well, if you just, like I said, I always find the easiest route, the easiest way to simplify everything. Nobody gets paid. And I've had other people come like, you're dumb. You own the organization. I'm like, dude, I don't do it for the money. I do it because I've been that veteran that was like really close to saying, screw this and exiting. And so from now on, my whole life is going to be, outside of being a father and a husband, is going to be to this. And I'm really good at it, and it's not me that makes it. I'm really good at one point, and then it's the rest of my staff that fulfills everything else. I mean, because I got two great team leads. Tomas Acosta is Oklahoma Heroes, and Cody Daly's Lone Star Heroes team lead, and they do their thing, and they're really good at it. And then they have their co-leads that really good at their thing, and then we got the staff who's really good at their things. And have your partner with a veteran-owned bourbon. I have one that's looking for. I don't drink because I'm a moron when I drink. So I do really stupid stuff, but I am down to partner with a bourbon company.
Yeah.
So this is one of my kids that my daughter grew up with.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Jacob,
he was Navy.
All right.
He was one of those sailors.
Well, Jacob, you can email us at homefrontsitrep@gmail.com. And we could definitely talk about that because we have had some veteran bourbon. We had veteran scotch on here. We would love to talk about partnering with a bourbon company, and I'm sure Jamie up here as well.
Yeah, I would love a Lone Star Hero cigar and a Lone Star Heroes Oklahoma Heroes bourbon.
Hell yeah.
So just saying.
So Jacob, if you have Candace's phone number, you can reach out to her, or you could probably get it from Becca, or you can email us at homefrontsitrep@gmail.com. Jamie, you want to give him your email?
Lone Star Heroes Outdoors at Gmail.
There you go.
Take your pick, Jacob.
So you can reach
Yeah.
out to both of us. We can definitely look into that. I love bourbon. I'm from Kentucky, so
Yeah.
I love bourbon. I grew up in Barstown, where 90% of the world's bourbon is made. So yeah, definitely hook us up.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you know about makes a cigar, I do love a
Hey,
good stogie every now and then.
there you go. So I got one from the mayor of Shepherdsville. It's a I don't smoke cigars anymore. I used to smoke them all the time, but I don't smoke them, and so I'm gonna have to put it down here. I haven't brought it down here yet, and but no, I loved a good Cuban back in the day. You know, good Cuban cigar. When I was in Haiti, they would bring over boxes to the base, and we smoked Cubans the whole time we were there. And my XO at the time, I'm not even going to say his name because I'm friends with him on Facebook, and if he watches, he'll. But anyway, he got like 20 cases, right? That he got, and I'm talking about the small cases. And he decided to. Yes, Candace, can you put our emails in there, please, for Jacob?
Yeah.
Because he said he stepped away. But anyway, so he put these Cuban cigars in the QuadCon because he thought he was the XO and nobody was going to look in this QuadCon, right? So the day we were getting ready to leave Haiti, customs comes to the base, and they popped all these QuadCons. You know, we had like, I don't know, about 20 QuadCons that had all of our gear and shit in them, and they popped up his and the company commander's QuadCon, and they pulled out 20 boxes of Cuban cigars and says, well, you can't take these back. So needless to say, he got a slap on the hand, but it's still, you know, he was just still trying to sneak them back. So.
Hey, you know what? This is the perk. Everybody, you can talk crap about MPs all you want, but guess who runs customs?
MPs.
Yeah. We never had problems getting our stuff through. Did you wash that truck? Hell no, I didn't wash that truck. Just pencil it, bro.
It's Lone Star Heroes Outdoors at gmail.com.
Oh, well, hey, Bill. Yeah, well, I have a knife maker, and he's on here watching. He said, Jamie, Laura says she can start making cigars. So Mad Marine Forging, I like to use a lot of veteran companies. And I worked with him at Peterbilt, and to deal with his, PTSD, he makes knives. And I wish, no, I don't have one. Oh, I do have one. Hang on one second. I got to show you this.
Awesome. I'd love to have a knife.
Tell me again, Willis. That was way too many words.
Lone Star Heroes
Outdoors
at gmail.com.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, Jacob, we would love to, sit down and talk with, reach out to us. I would love it. And a matter of fact, my mom, I don't know if she's still on here or not, but she has my bottle of Southern Cross bourbon that I got from Crux Distillery.
Yeah, we'll do a live tasting.
So, Mad Marine, obviously a Marine, because y'all get creative with y'all's names sometimes.
Yep.
Great guy. And this is the K-bar he made me.
Ooh, that is pretty.
Yeah, it is.
It's polka dotted.
Look at that handle.
Oh, I like it.
Look him up on Facebook, Mad Marine. This one's a Farrier's rasp. High carbon Farrier's rasp. I have several knives from him. This is my baby though. I'm afraid to use it because I don't want it to get hurt.
Do you know what that groove is? Do you know what that groove is called?
The bloodletter outer.
Yep. The blood groove. That's the blood groove, bro. That's the blood groove.
Oh yeah, William right there, made from a Farrier's rasp. Yep. Yeah, look at Mad Marine, dude. I have a skinning knife from him, and it is yet to be sharpened. And
you say he's on Facebook?
Yeah. Yeah, Mad Marine Forging, say Valley View, Texas.
Mad, like MAD.
Yep, mad because you're all angry.
No. Not the correct term for
It's
a
funny.
Marine.
It's called Mad Marine, and he's literally one of the nicest guys.
Well, I just followed him.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I just followed you, Mr. Harrell.
Don't
I'm gonna have to add you as a friend as well. So
don't look at his Facebook. You'll go broke and end up divorced.
well, you know,
He's going to do that just running a podcast.
yeah, just do the podcast.
He don't have to spend money.
Yeah, you'll spend. Guy, he'll make something. I'm like, yeah, you know, and but if I don't, my staff will, so it's all good.
Nice. Let's see what is his. I'm looking at. Oh, he's not on Facebook. Okay. What? Hold on.
Yeah, he just uses his profile, his Mad Marine.
Is that who'd you follow?
Right, he's talking.
Hey, I will say he is. Hey, how are you talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking on us. Unless he was saying something else. I don't know.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know. Yeah, he is not. He is, and he will openly admit this. He is not good with technology in any way, at all, ever. So
He's doing just fine right now.
Yeah,
he's, or it could be his wife using it. I don't know. But yeah, so yes, he's terrible. But yeah, but like it's guys like him. Yeah, I couldn't do what I do without him. So we got a lot of good support behind Lone Star Heroes right now. And that's why I really like keeping it regional, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
because I work with Guggen Squad. I mean, if you're into fishing, you know who Guggen Squad is. I mean, they got over 1 billion views combined on YouTube, and they throw down for us so much. Bass Mafia, and then I work with a lot of companies out of state. I work with Camo Dust. They're a scent blocker from they're out of Arkansas. I got Ugly Buck in North Carolina. They're minerals and attractants for deer, and it's like cocaine for deer and cows. Hell, I've had more cow pens bust over because of this stuff than deer. So, but yeah, we went way off track.
No, it's good. That's what we do.
That's why I was just like, hold on, where were we?
Yeah. Hey, I'm just saying.
It's been a really long week, and I don't think we can keep up, anyways. But like, with Zoom, there's this girl.
I mean, how your sponsors have Mountain Dew baits?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It is. Oh yeah, I had to buy a case of Mountain Dew to get it.
Yeah.
So Guggen Squad teamed up with Mountain Dew, and then Mountain Dew wanted their own baits, and they got them.
Nice.
So
I wonder if they taste like Mountain Dew.
Try it, Marine.
Well, I don't. He's not.
Order a case of Mountain Dew and try it.
They don't smell like Mountain Dew. I can tell you that. It smells like Guggen baits with that swamp sauce on it.
It would have been funny if you pulled one out and started like chawing on it.
Oh, I chaw on these all the time. Because like I'll use I would be tube fishing, so I take one of their worms, I bite the worm in half and slide it in the tube, and put it in there. I like the way their salt tastes. It tastes pretty damn good.
Nice. Nice. So Josh says put those away. He's still.
Oh
upset.
Yeah, he's one of my. He's a Guggen fan, and he didn't get those because he's like, oh, I'll grab it tonight. And they only released 1,000. And they sold out in a few hours.
Oh dang.
Yeah. So
you should have grabbed them when you had the chance, bro.
I went back to order them. They were gone.
Oh dang.
So I was like, oh yeah, I felt bad for him because he is. He's a great staffer, and he is a true fan of the Guggen Squad. And I got a bunch of their baits and stuff up there. So I even got stuff. I got threatened if I showed it. So I'm like,
no,
okay.
You're good. So I was looking on your website, and you got this raffle coming up. And I know with Facebook Gel and YouTube, if I show a picture of a GUN, I'm not even going to say it, but a GUN, I could get blocked or banned or whatever. So I'm not
on a Facebook Gel.
Yeah, go to Facebook Gel. So you got a raffle coming up as well. If you want to go to their website, which is Lone Star Hero,
can we talk about it? Can I tell you what it is?
Yeah, just talk about it.
Just go to Lone Star Hero. LoneStarHero.org. That's our website. Also our link tree. Hey Josh, if you're still on, find our link tree and put it in the comments if you could. And he's actually my backdoor guy on the podcast. So
Nice.
yeah.
That's what I'm gonna start calling you, Willis, the backdoor guy on the podcast.
It's good. I think he likes it. I think he likes the name. It hit home. He's like, "How did you know?"
No. Thanks, Jacob.
So we added a pistol. Josh, don't say. Well, text me.
Don't
what it is,
show a
Josh.
picture.
Don't put it in the
Don't
comments
show
either.
a picture.
But so the grand prize is a custom built 224 Valkyrie AR from the Boar and Barrel here in Crum, Texas. They're one of my supporters as well. Every year I go to him. I say, "This is how much I can spend," and he go, "Dude, this guy lives, breathes, sleeps guns," and he just goes ballistic on it. So, that's the grand prize, and we got tons, and we got more. I need to add because we just teamed up with Puna Camouflage.
Mhm.
Oh my god, they make some high end stuff, and it's actually affordable. And we got a discount code on that as well. But I think we got 13 or 14 prizes. We got some grills from J3, and they're nuts. One's a rocket stove that goes into the hitch of your truck, and yeah, so you can take it anywhere with you. And then we got another grill that folds into the size of a briefcase that you can use on the tailgate of your truck. Yeah. It sucks because I can't get in on these raffles, and I'm like, oh god, I would love that grill. I don't give a crap about the guy. I want the grill. Oh, and then Mad Marine is making a white-tailed deer, or is it? Well, it's a. He put it in there. Axis deer antler ball bearing Damascus knife, which also pisses me off because I want that too.
Yeah, I just saw that. That is number 5.
Yeah, so I because you know how like everybody's like when they do raffles, they're like, oh, here's the grand prize, here's the second prize. No, I put them as I get them. That way you're more, because I feel like it gives you, hey, you may have been picked number 15, but you won a grill, or you won a bang, or you won a trip, or you won some. I just put them as I feel it, and I like it because you have the odds you get something cool are still awesome. Yeah,
I'm looking here. There's all kinds of things on here.
Oh yeah,
You got
we are
the J3 rocket stove. You got
we are very blessed. My hat makers, they're gonna do a custom engraved knife as well. Nighttime Creations. That's a first responder owned company out of Ohio. 2 police officers. They make my hats. Yeah, I try to use everything possible veteran first responder.
No, I like that for sure because I like when I'm looking for sponsors for the show. I'd rather have veteran-owned companies come on sponsor because that's who our audience is primarily veterans.
Yeah.
So I'd love to have some sponsors that were strictly veterans. Like we got one that's in Texas right now. That's same flag, same oath.com, which is the shirt that she's got underneath of that hoodie there, the Marine It Down shirt. That's our co-branded shirt with them. And what we do with that is if you go out and buy that shirt, 25% at the end of the year is going to come back to HomeFront Sitrep. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that 25%, and the first year, which would be this year here, we're going to find all the veteran service organizations in the state of Kentucky. We're going to do a randomized wheel, and whatever it lands on, that money is going to get donated to that organization.
That's the way I do it.
Because we don't do this podcast to make money.
Yeah.
But we do want to highlight all these veteran service organizations. So if I get a check for $20, then I'll donate it to whoever. If I get a check for $1,000, I'll donate it to whoever. So if you want, go to sameflagsameoath.com and you can order the Marine It Down shirt, and we can help a veteran service organization in the state of Kentucky, whether it be Kentucky Wounded Heroes, Camp Hero Kentucky, Active Heroes, Dogs Helping Heroes.
Camp Hero with Roscoe.
Yeah, I love Roscoe, man. He's my brother, man. He is my brother from another mother. So when I first started this podcast journey, we took a weekend trip up to Camp Hero with a bunch of veterans, and had a great time. I mean, we got to shoot on the range, we got to go exploring in caves, and because this property butts up to Daniel Boone National Forest.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful piece of property. So, thank you, Mr. William Harrell. Lost you there, Jamie. Your camera's
I'm here. I just turned it off for a second.
Oh, okay. I got you. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I stopped smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Which was probably one thing I never expected I'd do. And the way I did it was vaping. And like I just bought 2 vapes, and they'll probably last me a month.
All right. Well, you don't have to shut your camera off.
I'm just
Yeah.
going off.
No, it was great. You showed it down here.
Yeah. I was like, okay, he got the dildo out of the guy.
It's great. Wait,
like
what color is the vape? What color is the vape?
It better not be neon green.
No.
Blue and yellow make.
Neon green.
No, it's orange.
It looks yellow.
It's called
It
orange.
still
It's called Orange Freaking Fab. So
It's okay. It would still make green, I promise.
So, all right, let's get back
Not
on track here a little bit.
yeah.
So, if you go to the website, which is right here,
LoneStarHero.org.
if you want to donate, there's a button there you can donate.
Yep.
They also have a Facebook page. You can go find them on Facebook.
And every penny, literally every penny raised, like it goes, we're 5% operating costs, and 95% goes to the members to rate trips. Because like sometimes like we'll get opportunities like for a low cost hunt, and I can buy it down a little bit, so it's even cheaper for them to do it. If I the funds are available, I'll buy the trip down a little bit, so it's cheaper on the members to go.
So here's what. Have you ever thought about doing like one of those airline credit cards? You know what I'm talking about, so you can get the points for mileage, like so you can.
I say credit cards.
Yeah, I'm saying
I'm very anti credit card now. I mean, dude, it's like at the end of the day, it's like after you spend all that money, it's like, oh, I could have just bought the ticket.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you buy a plane ticket, you still get miles for it, and then you can utilize those, especially if you do some traveling, like if you travel a lot. And because like the wife and I, we got a Southwest card, and we there for a while, we were doing traveling all the time. So we would use our Southwest card, and then we would fly. Like my wife just went to Clearwater for the weekend. She paid $44 for a round trip ticket with her mileage points and stuff like that. So sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It just depends.
Oh yeah, it's I don't. I mean, in this realm, like, well, not this realm, in this like today's society, I just try not to use a credit card.
Yeah. Especially with the cost of living right now, it's just you spend more on a credit card than you make in a month, so it does get crazy.
Yeah, it's just and I tried to be good with my finances, and I definitely never want to put the organization in a predicament. So if we don't have the funds, we don't have the funds. It is what it is.
No, I like it. I definitely do. I definitely like it, my friend.
At the end of the day, it's my job to protect the organization. So,
yeah, definitely. So you host a podcast. You just started your podcast, which is super cool.
Yeah, thanks to you. Actually, you put us in the right way, because it was literally just getting it off the ground. I didn't know how to, and once you showed me how to do it, I'm like, oh man, this is easy. So we, the Outdoor Warrior podcast, it actually would have been tonight, but we had this scheduled, so we moved it to yesterday. But we do it every other Tuesday. You can go to our YouTube channel, Lone Star Heroes Outdoors, and click subscribe, follow us. Yeah, and we interview a lot of our sponsors, and I mean, especially because we have people that work deep in the fishing hunting industry. So you can talk to them, like John Warren from the Guggen HQ. That dude does so much for us. And they really like that podcast because it was a lot of what he does. And I mean, he's no stranger to my organization. And then like last night we had Lieutenant Dan's Crappie Co. He's out of Sanger, Texas. He's a crappie guide, and I've been friends with him for a long time. And he does a ton for us. And we had him on last night, and that was really good.
Well,
And
do you remember me telling you about Heroes Media Group that I'm part
yeah,
of? So this guy right here, Mr. Adam Bird, he's the founder of Heroes Media Group.
okay,
We need to get you connected with him to see how HMG can help you,
okay,
because I think your podcast is you're just starting,
yeah,
but you've already got a good foundation. So HMG, what they do is they help promote your podcast. They'll help you if you need production. They'll help you do that. If you pretty much whatever you need, Adam can help you do that.
go have him go watch our podcast and see what he thinks.
So I will get you guys connected as well. So that's two people that we gotta. So we need to get you connected with Rich Sagara from Operation Vets with Nets, and then Mr. Adam Bird as well. And then also, I want to get you connected with Montana Warriors on the Water. Debbie and what's Debbie's husband name? I can't remember, but they run Montana Warriors on the Water. I think they'd be another great organization that you could probably partner with as well. So definitely get you connected there as well. Is there anything that we haven't hit on? Because I do have a hard stop here in about 10 minutes, if right around there. So.
I mean, like the one thing I always like to like tell people, like I'm not here to tell you get help, but I hope you do. I mean, because a lot of people like I didn't tell y'all because I like recently reconnected with my daughter after 13 years. Last year, it was 2 years. If my ex is still watching, when did we reconnect? Because I forgot. She has no problem telling me.
We talked to you about that in our meet and greet.
Yeah,
and it wasn't long ago.
I think we reconnected a year and a half, 2 years ago. Year and a half ago.
Yeah,
anyways, yeah, because I was that bad. I mean, I'm not mad at my ex. I love her husband. Me and him get along great. I have no ill will, no hard feelings against her family, nothing. And since we've been reconnected, her family's been great. Like even with my wife, they just openly accept my wife. They love her more. I think they like her more than they like me. But they, I mean, it's like people are like, man, I wish that I wish I could reconnect. I'm like, I never thought I would reconnect with her, but in case I did, I want to be the best me I could be.
Right.
So, I'm better than I was yesterday, and I hope tomorrow I'm better than I am today. Find your passions, find what you love, and do it. I mean, it's everybody's like, oh man, I can't put the ball down. Yeah, you can, dude. I put it down and never touched it again.
Yeah.
Ever. I mean, when my father-in-law died, I had me and my wife shared a drink to him because we don't drink.
Yeah.
So, we took a gin and coke, it did taste amazing. I'm like, oh, that's it. I haven't touched another one since either. So, it's do what you think best for you. That's all you can do, and find something you love. And everybody needs a hobby and a release. Find a hobby.
Oh, yeah.
If it's video games, hunting, fishing, I don't care what it is. I mean, I have a Marine that makes candles. That's his passion.
That makes sense. It's a Marine and it's wax.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I didn't think about all that. Different colors.
Hey, they smell amazing. Okay, like I would take a bubble bath.
Taste amazing.
They're like I smell them like, oh my god, this is amazing.
We just found your side gig, Willis.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, it's like it's my specialty is outdoors. It's what makes me happy. It's my release.
Yeah.
Find your
this
release.
podcast is my release. This is my release.
Yeah. So you found your niche that you really enjoy. I don't get to have as much fun as I like to have because my job now is to make sure everybody else has fun. But that's my niche. I help you find, get your passion out there. And some people, I can't tell you how many people, veterans I've taken on trips and like, man, this is just not for me. I'm like, I'm glad you tried though. I'm glad you came out and tried it.
Yeah.
So now this ain't for you. So what is? And someone's like, I don't know. I'm like, but you'll find it. The thing is that last night, You tried it, and now you started that journey. So you may find it soon. You may find it in years, but don't stop.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
One of the things I live by is be better tomorrow than I was today. That's something that I always live by, and because I'm always learning, I'm always growing, and you know, this journey that I'm on with this podcast and my VA journey and stuff, I'm working through my issues, and when I find other veterans that are very like-minded to myself, that always makes me be better,
yeah.
because I got to take care of myself before I can take care of anybody else.
You should be always be your number one priority.
Yeah.
You should put yourself for anybody, because if you're not at your best, you're not the best for your family, your kids, your relationship, your marriage, your mom, your dad, your puppy.
Yep.
I had to learn that to put myself first. And once I mastered that, everything else is easy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So are you busy tomorrow night?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
So we have our tip of the spear
Mm-hmm.
monthly veterans roundtable. It's our monthly veterans roundtable with other veteran podcasters. You're a newly minted veteran podcaster, so I was going to invite you if you want to sit on the panel of the roundtable for tomorrow. If you're interested, I can shoot you an invite. It's at 7:00 Eastern time. So you're in Texas, so you're
That's
Central
6:00.
time, so 6:00 your time tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you're interested,
I should be able to make it.
It's a good time. It's a bunch of us.
Is it
And
live?
yeah. There's Triple Threat Vets podcast. Mr. Adam Bird, when he's able to join, he jumps on. Dexter Pitts with I Am Pitts podcast. Conversations with the Vet. Tab Bartley with Oath We Took podcast. We got Every Day's a Saturday USMC veteran Brian Roof. Oscar Mike Radio with Travis.
Just so you know, my ex messaged me. She was watching almost a year and a half. So
Okay.
there we go.
She's probably still watching.
Yeah. She has no problem pointing me out, but the highlight is like I don't have to listen. So
Hey,
I'm like,
Hey,
put it in
you can
chat,
start
so-
commenting on the podcast. Like, you don't have to text him.
yeah.
Podcast.
But no, I'll send you an invite, and if you can make it, you can make it. If you can't, the whole purpose of having the roundtable is if I'm not able to make it, somebody takes my spot. If you're not able, somebody else takes your spot. So like Carol Lee is in the process of moving, so she's not able to make it. So somebody's going to take her spot. So I'll send you an invite, and if and you'll fit right in. I promise you. But it is that time of night, my friend. I want to thank you for coming on here and hanging out with us. Hey, you're very, very welcome. And anything that you want to, put out there wise, like later on, reach out to me via text message or email.
Yeah. And for all those watching, you can find us on Facebook, Lone Star Heroes Outdoors. There's 2. We have a group. That's where all the magic happens. That's where I give everything away. And I do more than trips. I give away a lot of gear. And so follow us on our main page. Join the group, answer 3 questions you're in. Same for Oklahoma Heroes Outdoors. There's a main page on the trip. You can find us Instagram, YouTube, here. I mean,
there you go.
It's not hard. We blend in because I'm a cocky Texan. We all name everything Lone Star. So
there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And if you are a Lone Star follower, make sure you follow Homefront Sitrep on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, because we are on Rumble as well. So make sure you follow Homefront Sitrep. And we do have a private group as well. So on Facebook, it's Homefront Sitrep Podcast is a public page, and then Homefront Sitrep is the private group. And then on YouTube, it's Homefront Sitrep, and then trying to think, Military United Podcast Streams, Heroes Media Group. Make sure you go follow all of these. Make sure you follow everybody. Veterans Voice Radio. If you're a veteran and you love listening to veterans who sing, or family members of veterans, we have 2 apps that you can download. One is Simplify Country. The other one is Ranger Rockwave. You can actually go onto your app store, download both of those apps, or Google Play. You can download both of those apps and listen to veterans that haven't signed with a record label yet. So it's always great music. You got Scotty Hastings on there, Scotty Frazier, there's just a whole list of veterans that are on those 2 stations there. So, but anyway, Mr. Hurley, thank you for coming on here and hanging out with us. It's about that time of night, and
I'm still tired from last night's podcast.
I bet it's tiring, man. Let me tell you.
People don't understand. This is a grind.
Oh, it is. Trust me. Trust me. But anyway, it's that time of night, my friends. Thank you guys for coming on here, watching and listening and commenting. That's why we do what we do as a podcast host. You guys make it enjoyable for us and our guests. But it's that time of night. So, Candace, take us out of here.
I'm not used to that. We still have a guest on. Well, you're just like throwing it on me. No.
Close it out, bro.
Like
close it down, homie. Let's close it.
You're on HomeFront Sitrep, Jamie Hurley. Stay safe out there. We got your 6.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your 6.